talk about obsession thrillers?
Yeah. Are you trying to be creepy?
I'm obsessed with you.
Why are you just getting so close?
I'm obsessed.
It's so tickly. He's obsessed.
Obsession thrillers. Talking about obsession. This dog cannot be freaking ignored for 2 seconds.
He's like, guys, aren't you obsessed with me?
Yeah, he wants
We're
to
obsessed
be.
with you, Goog.
All right.
Okay. Come over here.
So we watched
good boy.
5 obsession thrillers. I didn't cover some of the ones, like, okay, so the main one that I really want to talk about is going to get its own video. I've talked about reviewing it on the channel many, many times. I was going to put it in this video, but I'm like, no, this deserves its own video. I don't know what I would consider my favorite obsession thriller, because it's kind of hard to put a classification on certain films. But I need to, at some point, we need to cover The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. It's definitely, like, a fave of mine for sure. I guess if I was to have to say what my favorite is, I think Misery is probably the best example.
Misery's so good.
Of an obsession thriller. That's like a perfect obsession thriller. So that's probably the best one. Cape Fear with De Niro is another perfect obsession thriller. Max Cady is just absolutely obsessed with this lawyer that got him put away and just cannot let it go. Although I could definitely see the argument for that's more of like a revenge thriller.
Well, revenge and obsession is kind of like, they go hand in hand.
They do.
You can definitely be. In fact, I mean, kind of the first movie that we'll talk about, I feel like, is also sort of like revenge in a way. We'll see.
The first one?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
A little bit.
I don't think so. I think it's just pure obsession.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
Maybe
talk
you're
about
right.
it.
I don't know, but they do go hand in hand. I think they complement each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Another obsession thriller that we have covered on the channel that Kayla loves to get freaked out by is Fear.
Oh, God.
With Mark
so
Wahlberg.
Scary. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I mean, that is a hardcore obsession film.
Really hardcore obsession, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was another one that you were like wanted to watch this round, but you were like, we need to watch it by itself because you keep saying that it's going to really mess me up.
Oh, yeah. Sleep Tight. Yeah, Sleep Tight's another one that I think I've already covered it on the channel, so I don't think we'll be covering it together, but it's definitely one I want to show you and to talk about if we do a video on it for some reason. It's a video that needs to be its own thing. These are films that I'm fine talking about for 10-15 minutes a piece. Not saying I love or hate or any of those types of things. It's just like I don't need to do full videos. I could do full videos on any one of these, but I think these are perfect films for just kind of quickly discussing them in this style. So, Mystery Marathon, Volume 7? I never remember.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure it's
Volume 7. Some number.
I'm pretty sure it's 7.
Okay.
What kind of kicked this off, I guess, is, and I won't be covering this here. I mean, I guess I could talk about it for a second, but I, myself, watched Clint Eastwood's Play Misty for Me, which is kind of like an OG obsession thriller, where Clint Eastwood's character is this disc jockey for a radio station, and this woman calls in every night requesting Misty, this popular song, and he meets this girl in a bar and they start having sex and just, you know, it's supposed to be a fun throwaway little relationship. He's this guy who's like, you know, a ladies' man, never wants to settle down, but he has this one girl who he's kind of played around with the idea of settling down with, and you know, he meets this girl and she seems like she's gonna just be fun, right? And she seems like all is gonna be just like a one night stand, and if they want to get together later and have some fun, then they can do so. And of course she becomes insanely obsessed with him, won't leave him alone, and when he tries to get back with his ex, she like makes her way into their life, moves in with her unbeknownst to him because she like constantly has different roommates, the girlfriend he's interested in, and it's like the big reveal that she's the new roommate in the end, and she's gonna go kill her. So that brings me into our first movie, which has a lot of similarities. I feel like, you know, even though this is a married couple, I do feel like Play Misty for me is an inspiration for Fatal Attraction. So we watched Fatal Attraction with Michael Douglas and Glenn Close. One thing that somewhat like hurts the film but also fully helps the film at the same time is I do not find Glenn Close even remotely attractive. But it actually adds to the film because of how fucking crazy she looks at all times.
Yeah. She's a very talented actress.
That mane.
She's got wild hair in this, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, very 80s?
I remember.
80s?
Yeah, I remember looking in the trivia and it talking about how Glenn Close was, like, really questioning, like, what kind of hairstyle she should have for this film. And A+.
Yeah.
Because it adds
it totally adds to it. Yeah. I always think that's fun. When
she's like a lion.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, I always think it's fun when actors, like, and actresses, like, kind of get a say in their, like, hair or facial, like, hair or whatever for a character. Like, doesn't Leonardo DiCaprio do that with his, like, beards and stuff? I feel like I saw some article about, like, his, like, facial hair whenever he's in certain roles, like, having, like, a really specific, like, obviously, when he's playing, like, a period piece or whatever, like, there's certain types of, like, styles and stuff, but anyway, I think it's cool that she got to kind of decide what sort of hair she wanted to have.
Yeah.
She's scary in this. She's really scary. This is the youngest I've ever seen her, too. I feel like I've only ever seen her, like, older. So it's really interesting. It's always interesting to me to see actors that I'm familiar with, like, past a certain age and then see, like, the younger version.
Yeah, sure.
Super talented in this. Super terrifying.
Yeah.
But, like, we were kind of talking during this, so, like, the whole thing is that she's an editor? Secretary? I don't quite... Writer? Journalist? She's something like that.
Yeah.
And
he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer representing...
He gets called... Yeah, go on.
Sorry, representing, like, I think she's, like, an editor or secretary, because...
She's an editor.
The client of this guy is, like, a writer... And the whole, like, initial reason that he's his attorney, or, like,
well, he
one
goes
of the
to
things
a
they talk
publishing.
about.
He goes to a publishing house, which is, you know,
so,
and they're talking about the rights issues for the book and whether or not they're going to run into any kind of plagiarism.
Right, because there's, like, a mayor or a senator or somebody that's, like,
some politician, and this person had been having sex with different politicians, and they're writing this fictional character, but the character resembles the like politician that she most recently was with, but not enough for there to be a lawsuit, and so he's brought in, and I think she might handle public relations or something like that.
Yeah, but you're right. They meet at, like, a party initially. So, like, they go, like, him and his wife, the main character and his wife go. They have like the perfect life too. We'll set that up. She's super cute, attractive, loving.
So much better looking than Glenn Close.
Like, they have a little daughter, which was really funny because the daughter has, like, looks like a little boy, honestly.
100%.
Which is fine, but, like, we thought it was a little boy at first because, you know, when kids...
Kettle black.
I know, exactly. But when kids...
Them.
You know, when kids... when kids are, like, at a certain age, they can be very androgynous, obviously.
Yeah.
She's a super cute little girl. Very adorable. They have a dog, a super great dog, and, like, everything's, like, great.
It's the idyllic life.
Very idyllic. And then they go to this party.
He has money, he has a great career, he's got it all.
Yeah. Go to this party that's huge. They're, like, whatever, meandering around, and he goes over to, like, get a drink. He, like, kind of runs into her first, because, like, his friend makes some, like, racist joke, and she, like, kind of walks by and, like, gives them a look because she, like, overhears it.
Yeah.
And then he, like, kind of goes over to the bar, and they, like, sit and sort of have, like, a little bit of a drink. And I don't know, I guess they're flirting. I guess. They kind of just seem like they're talking to me and just being nice.
Yeah.
Because he even says, like, oh, my wife, like, I gotta go, or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's, like, the first time they meet, and then they meet again at the publishing house.
Yeah.
And
then they go out for drinks.
And then he takes her out for, like, a drink. And they, like, have a really very flirtatious dinner.
Yeah.
At that point, they're definitely, like, towing the line. Because the reason he takes her out for drinks is because his wife and daughter go out of town because they're trying to buy a house out of the city.
Yeah.
And so they go to visit, like, her mom or something.
Yeah.
And they're, like, gone for the night. And he takes her out to have drinks.
Well, she's, like, being very forward and obvious about things, being like, can you be discreet? And stuff like that. Like, very much hinting
That would not
at,
be obvious to me.
Oh, my God.
I would be
that
like...
was the most obvious shit of all time. Like,
like
I'm all about discretion and being discreet. Like, I will fuck you and no one will ever know. Your
wouldn't
wife.
even take that as, like, let's have sex. It would be like...
Why else would she be saying it?
I don't know. I would be like...
She is so oblivious to
know.
shit. It's crazy.
But, yeah, they are very flirty at dinner. And then, yeah, they go out. They go home. And they have sex.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, most of this movie... it kind of sucks because, like, I don't like this guy. He, like, has got what is coming to him, for
100%.
sure. Now, I don't want the rabbit at the end, obviously. I had to, like, leave the room for that scene. If you don't know, there's, like, a famous scene in this where she, like, boils a bunny.
Yeah.
You don't see, like, the act, but you see
the kid's bunny.
aftermath.
Yeah, the pet.
I left the room, so I didn't even see that. But, you know, like, everything that she does to him, like, destroying his car and, like...
Kidnapping his child.
The kidnapping his child is too much, but she doesn't hurt the kid.
Nope, she
to
just
be
takes
fair,
her on a
she
roller
literally
coaster.
takes the girl to, like,
I couldn't tell if the kid was enjoying the roller coaster or not.
I couldn't either. She was like...
She's like, I think this is okay.
But she drops her off and she's like, give me a kiss. She's just kind of, like, being, like showing, you know...
She wants to be mom.
Her power and stuff, but she doesn't hurt the kid. Now, do I think she would hurt the kid?
100%.
Yes, I think she would. So I think she is insane, but, like, up until, like, everything where it's, like, towing the line, like, her just, like, calling him and, like, calling his house and then, like, showing up, like, I know we'll get into more of it, but, like...
Keying his car.
Yeah, all that, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. She's crazy, don't get me wrong.
She's
I'm not saying that she
insane.
should do that, but, like, he fucking chose to cheat on his wife.
The only power she has over him is the affair and him worrying that he's going to lose his family. But it's like, if you don't want to lose your family, don't cheat on your wife.
100%.
Right, so,
and
like, if you make that decision with some random person you just met, like, and he leads her, I mean, he tries to be, she leads him on for sure. Yeah, that I am positive on, right? She, as I had said, you might be oblivious to it, but he's not. She's like, I can be discreet, and I just want to have fun. And she makes it very clear, I just want to have an affair, a quick night with you, and I will move on. I've got better things in my life to do. I just want to fuck you tonight, and then we'll never speak of this again. I'm never going to mention it to anybody, and we're good.
But
she is 100% implying that. Does he deserve what comes to him? Getting caught and all of that, yes. Does the wife deserve to be tortured and fucking, you know, scared and have her kid taken and a bunny be murdered and all that? Of course not. That's insane. She's fucking insane.
Yeah.
But he 100% deserves to lose his family over this, because this isn't set up like a normal film like typically does, right? So, like, typically the way these go is the couple has some kind of fight.
Yeah.
There's shown to be a sexless relationship. Now, the only thing that's implied here is that since they had the kid, when he tries to come in to have sex with his wife, the kid runs in and there's no spontaneity left in their relationship because of their child. Where's Grogu? I get it. So he's just like all of the passion and all of the, like, free love and, like, the, like, as I said, spontaneity.
Yeah, like, you don't have the responsibility.
Is gone.
Yeah.
And
at the same time, it's like, yeah, you decide to have a kid. Like, you know what's going to happen with that.
You do, but you don't.
We're not really, okay, like...
You do, but you don't.
I just feel like...
As someone who's had kids at a young age,
yeah.
like, you forget. That's the thing. You forget that when you sign up for something, that it's literally 24/7.
I get that.
Like, until you're in it, you're like, oh, fuck, this is a literal every second of every day thing. Like, you know that, but you don't know it.
Yeah,
until you're in it and you're like, fuck. I just went to bed. I gotta get up in 2 hours. These fucking kids, please stop crying. And you don't want to have sex. You don't want to do anything because you're so fucked up. And yeah, I get the desire to go out and have some fun, like, activity away, but you just don't do it.
Okay, and I think that is supposed to be what that scene is, like, telling us.
Yeah.
But, like you said, it's, like, such a different setup because he's, like, they just came home from a party, and, like, they're happy, and, like, his little girl's in there, and she's, like, smiling, and they're like, I'm sorry, like, gotta cuddle with our little daughter.
Yeah.
And it's, like, yeah, okay, like, you're disappointed you want to have sex, but it's, like, also, like, you get this, like, lovely little, you know, like, so, I'm not saying that the sex isn't important, I'm just saying, like, normally, like you said, in movies, they set it up where it's, like, they're fighting, and he's like, oh, I just want to have sex with you, or, like, whatever. That's not the case at all. It just feels very, like, alright, like...
It's like a very normal relationship with kids.
So, yeah, you're right. They lead each other on, because I guess, like, she kind of, you know, tells him, like, that it's going to be whatever, but then after their first night, like, she is head over heels for him. And they have, okay, we didn't even talk about this, but the first time they have sex is, like, on the sink. And it's really weird because it's supposed to be like it's all spontaneous and like super passionate.
It's supposed to be sexy.
It's so weird because there's like water in the sink and she keeps like...
she puts her hand in it and is like rubbing it on his face and then like in his mouth and on her face and she keeps like doing it. And I'm like, what is that? It was
like the least sexy and I've seen in a while. I was
hilarious.
So like, no. I mean, I guess that's supposed to just be like when you're in a certain mood, kind of like anything is really hot or whatever, but I don't know.
Sure, I think everyone's had sex and then after you're like, why did I say that? Why did I fucking do that thing? Now I feel self-conscious.
It was funny, that scene.
That is fucking funny.
But yeah, she's like head over heels with him, and then the wife is like, oh, we gotta stay one more night, sorry. And he's kind of like, he does sort of try to be like, okay, like not gonna... But the first clue is that she calls him at his house the next day. Yeah. And he's like, how'd you get this number? And she's like, oh, come over. I'll cook for you. Yeah. You can work here. Like, come on, just come over. And he's like, he does. He ends up doing it. And he brings his fucking dog. He brings his dog over to her house. Yeah. And then they have this wonderful day.
That offends Kaylee.
Like, the dog, they take the dog out. The dog's like, the dog is so happy.
The dog's out of their sight. The reason it offends me for so long
is that the first night he stays at her house, he doesn't walk the dog. Yeah. He doesn't go home to walk the dog. So, and his wife specifically is like, make sure you walk the dog.
He's like, I won't forget.
It's awful. If you have a dog, like, you understand. Like how, I don't know.
Leaving the dog at home alone all day and all night without going out
in
just so you can go fucking cheat on your wife. So fucked
crazy.
Up.
This is what I'm saying. Like, this guy has everything coming for him.
This guy sucks.
So then, like, yeah, they have like this wonderful day. The dog's like fucking happy because he gets to run around actually and be played with. And that's like the whole start of everything. Because then on that night, she like...
Yeah, they feel
she tries to kill herself.
Yeah, he tries to leave and she slits her wrist.
She's like, I want to be with you. Like, I want to, like, have this thing. He's like, no. And then she's like, okay. And then she has, like, her hands behind her back.
And you think she has a weapon, and it's like, no.
Messed up. That's evil. People that, like, self-harm, threaten anything like that. For attention or to trying to get you to stay in a relationship. They're manipulators. That is bad news. You got to get out of that.
So I used to date a girl years ago who stalked me pretty heavily. She would sit outside the salon and just stare at me through the window to the point where I finally had to go out there. I didn't want to. I thought eventually she'd give up, but she just didn't. And I had to like go out there and be very aggressive, like, you know, my voice. I didn't touch her or anything, but I was just like, she was not getting it. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you doing? She did this for weeks on end. And I was just like, she'd act like, she acted like, oh, you're in there? She like sitting there staring at me and be like, oh, I didn't even know you worked here or something. Yeah. Anyway, so many crazy things happened with her throughout the time that I was around her. But one of the things that had happened is she called me and she was like, Jason. It was in the morning, and she's like, I just woke up. My house was broken into. I'm like laying on the ground. I think my foot is broken. I might have been raped. I don't know. Like this and that. And
That's wild.
I was like, what the fuck? Like I was freaking out. Like, holy shit, that's crazy. And like she had nobody. Just one of these types of people. And so like I went over and I went to her house and I picked her up and I took her to the hospital. And her foot was fucking bashed and kind of mangled. But there was no sign of a struggle in the house anywhere. Nothing. And I was like, someone broke in and raped you and there's nothing around here? I was like, that's fucking weird. So like that was my first clue, but then we went into the hospital to get her treated, and the doctor came out and was like, can I talk to you for a second? And I was like, sure. And he like pulled me aside and he's like, I don't want to say anything. He's like, I'm not really allowed to, like guess or like whatever. But he was like, I just want to let you know, I from what I could tell, the injury to her foot looks like it was like
self-inflicted.
Self-inflicted.
That's scary.
And I was like, this chick.
That's so scary.
Broke her foot on purpose.
Oh my god.
To call me, to have me come over and like rescue her.
Oh, that's scary.
So
that's super scary.
I mean, I've been through this.
This is, yeah, I mean, we kind of have talked about this before. Like, don't get me wrong. In a fantasy element, like in like a romance thing, the idea of somebody being obsessed with you, right?
In a healthy way.
Well, no, sometimes not even in a healthy way, but like when it's in a fantasy setting, like, just as like a dark fantasy, like a vampire that's obsessed with you. And
I told you while we were watching this, I'm almost
it's
jealous
almost,
of someone being that obsessed with someone. Like, my ego's like, ooh.
Well, like You, right? Like, I haven't seen all of You, but I know a lot of girls are really into Joe.
You've seen all of me.
Like, so there's like an attractive quality to that, but
because the whole world revolves around you in their eyes.
Right. And it's like, especially if you're somebody who like doesn't get noticed much in life or whatever, like it's very flattering and wonderful to think like somebody would be like wanting to pay attention to you on such like a detailed way. But usually, even if it is a darker thing, like let's say vampires or whatever, there's still like an element of like you're consenting to, like, you want it to, like, it's not you, unless, whatever. In these movies and stuff, that's totally void. In the real life scenario that, like, you just described, like, and with stalkers, like, in general, like, that's really scary. And, like, it's just terrifying to think, honestly. Like, I would be so scared to find out somebody was doing stuff like that. And I don't know how I would even handle finding out somebody was, like, hurting themselves to try and get my attention. Like, it would really mess me up.
Another really weird story that comes off of this, since we're talking about this, since this is what the discussion is about, that same girl. So I started hanging out with this other girl, Holly, and I had been hanging out with her for a few nights. And I get a phone call from her, and I answer, and it's that other girl that I was just mentioning. I won't mention her name because I don't want to, in case for some reason. But I answer the phone, and I'm like, hello, and I hear her voice, and I'm like my face immediately, like, I know her voice. You never forget a voice like that. And I was like, the fuck? She's like, Jason? And I'm like, is this? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now?
She called your phone, or
she called me on Holly's phone?
Oh, that's
the girl I'd just been
scary.
hanging out with for a few nights.
Yeah.
And she calls, like, I see Holly's number on my phone. I'm like, okay, hello. And it's her, and I'm like...
okay, I thought you were saying you were with Holly, and, like, she called on her phone number. You're saying she called from Holly's phone number.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
So I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, oh, hey, I was just out hiking, and I met this girl, and I asked to use her phone to call you. And I'm like,
that's so
what are the fucking odds that you just so randomly, like, ran into the girl that I'm hanging out with right now to use her phone?
But
I'm like, no. And then I'm like, don't call me. This is fucking crazy. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I hang up. I try to call Holly back. I never hear from Holly again. Never. And I'm like,
happened to her?
So I looked into it. I was like calling people, and they were like, I don't know what happened to Holly, this and that. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I was like worried about it. And then time passed, And I was like, no, this can't be right. Because I didn't know a lot of people she knew. And I was like, no. I was like totally putting it off. And I was like looking in the papers. Looking to see if like she went missing or something. And I kept calling like friends back and be like, have you heard from her yet? Anything? And they were like, no. And then I don't know, maybe like, I don't remember how much time passed. But a good amount of time passed. Weeks, month maybe. And I finally got a call from Holly, and she was like, hey man, sorry, I just disappeared, like I had a lot of shit going on in my life. And I was like, I thought you were fucking dead. I thought you were dead. I should have called the police. Now looking back on it, but I didn't want to like call the police and it be wrong, because Holly was somebody I had known from the past who was very flaky, would vanish here and there. So I was like, I'm just being weird. But in my mind I was like, she's out hiking,
and finds
right,
her phone.
hiking in a trail out in the middle of nowhere with some random girl.
Oh my
she hits her over the head, fucking covers her with dirt and runs away. I was like, in my head, I was like freaking out. Like, did she just kill this chick?
But you've said to me that this girl's like better now, right?
She is.
Like, she's
I've checked in on her since, and she went to a facility, and she now has like a husband and kids, and is seemingly like normal and healthy now.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. Well, that's great. As a side note, we'll get back to the movies here.
Sorry.
But it's relevant. But you just told me about Robert Pattinson dealing with a stalker and how like this girl would like not leave him alone, so he took her out to dinner, and then like told her all of his problems like in like extreme detail, and like kind of peeled back the like
facade.
Like her fantasy of what she thought he was like, and that fixed the problem.
Yeah, she like never showed up to his house again.
Yeah, if you just be like really very raw and realistic,
they're like,
bad version of yourself.
Don't meet your heroes.
I don't have any, thankfully, knock on wood, I don't have any stories of stalkers, except you. I'm just kidding. Okay, but yeah, so back to the movie.
Of course, as always, she says she's pregnant. I don't buy one fucking bit of that. I remember my buddy Brandon was dating a girl who was a full fucking blown fatal attraction. She would tell him that she was pregnant with his baby, and the way she's not had any proof of like taking a test, going to a doctor, this and that. She used an app on her phone, which heard 2 heartbeats. And that was her proof, and she was like posting it online and being like, I lost my baby today, rip to my baby, and showing the app with the 2 heartbeats on her phone as her proof of like, mine and Brandon's baby died today.
Oh my god.
And totally fucking absolute psycho shit. The amount of stories I have about that chick and him is terrifying.
That's crazy.
He went through some wild shit with her.
Wow.
I also dated a girl who had a stalker.
Oh, that's scary too.
And I had to deal with him, and he like walked in on us, and the whole deal, fucking wild. I've had a lot of interactions with this type of stuff, so this is not something that is pure fantasy for me.
Yeah,
I've dealt with it a good amount in my life.
Scary.
Yeah. So okay, yeah, the film is definitely iconic. The scene where she boils the rabbit and is like coming at everybody, like coming at the wife and everything. It is very memorable. I enjoyed the movie. It's just,
I did too.
I like that it's a little bit more realistic. That he's just a shitty, like cheating husband. Yeah, he's just
a bad guy. Like, because I was expecting like
sympathetic and
I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting to like him, I guess, which I don't know why. I don't think I knew this was like about somebody cheating or anything, so that kind of like,
sure, you probably just thought he met a girl, he was single, and she wouldn't leave him alone.
What I thought was gonna happen is that she's gonna find out that he's married and then like just obsess over like trying to break up their marriage. I guess I didn't really think he was gonna
they were gonna fuck. Sure.
I didn't think they were gonna have, because like him doing that, I'm like, you're inviting this into your life. But
that would have been an interesting thing if he was like, no, I like I'll hang out with you, but I'm married.
Right.
You can't.
That's like
have
what I thought
me.
was gonna happen. Instead, he's just like an asshole.
I mean, that's more of like hand that rocks the cradle, right?
Right. But there's so many scenes in this, like the anxiety of like, if somebody who's like trying to hide a secret, somebody who's lying, and she's showing up to his work. When she shows up to his house, like, because he's like, we're moving, like we're gonna definitely move. And they're trying to rent the place, and he comes home, and she's there being like, I'm gonna rent the house, like talking to his wife and stuff, and being very nice and very normal acting, just like saying that, like when she leaves, the wife's like, oh yeah, she's pregnant and all this stuff, and it's like, oh
my god.
Like, didn't you say that Glenn Close has people that like came up to her that would be like, thank you for making that movie because it terrified my husband?
Yeah, what
which
the
is
fuck?
Weird.
That's not.
But this is kind of like a guy's worst case scenario. Like, this is like almost like a morality tale of like, don't cheat on your wife because she could be psycho. I mean, you shouldn't cheat on your wife. Don't cheat on your wife. But it's like, oh, you need a reason not to? Well.
Yeah, this is what could happen. Well, I mean, you could also just, betray your wife's trust. You could also just hurt her, even if she doesn't know.
Yeah.
It's still wrong, and you shouldn't do it. But, but then again, I mean, like, not everything is black and white. Not everything is as simple as people make it seem, right? Like, sometimes relationships are super fucking complicated. Mm-hmm. I'm not like trying to diminish the effects of like affairs, and I'm not trying to condone any actions or anything. But there are relationships where the situation is so fucked. Either the husband is aggressive and will not let you leave, and you're genuinely afraid for your fucking life, and you just want to have a life outside of him, and so you're having like this affair because you just want to feel like whole again, or like, you feel like trapped by the kids and the house and all of the money that's entangled and all the friends, and everything is going to be torn apart, but you guys have a shitty, loveless marriage. Like, there's more factors at play. But with this relationship in particular that we see, the snapshot we get of it, it looks like the perfect fucking life.
Yeah, absolutely.
This guy, I do not feel sympathy for in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, well, because, to be like, cheating is a bad thing, you shouldn't do it, but just because you have cheated doesn't mean you're a horrible person.
No.
Like, good people can do bad things.
Yes.
Like, it's just people make mistakes, and that happens. Now, but it is hard, though, like, with cheating, like, the trust and everything, it's very hard to deal with, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I like this one.
I'm glad that we got a lot of the, like, obsession discussion out of the way, because we won't talk about every film for this long. This is mostly just, like, obsessions and whatnot in general, so we're getting a good amount of that commentary out of the way to begin with. I did find it funny that when he's drowning her in the tub, that she's like got these whiteout contacts on, but then when she's dead, her eyes are back to normal. It's like,
your eyes don't go white when you're being like drowned.
That was so
at least not
weird.
Like right away.
I don't understand what that was.
That was so bizarre. I don't know either.
I don't know, because if she was wearing like contacts to block the water from going in her eyes because it keeps shooting the scene so much or whatever, but it's like, why would you make them white?
Yeah.
Like, I think they were used for the scene, and the director didn't like how they looked.
Yeah.
So he decided against it, and the editor edited in angles where she was still wearing them, but you didn't really see them that well.
Yeah, I think
it was an artistic choice of looking at them, shooting it that way, looking at the footage, the dailies, and being like, no. Yeah. No, that doesn't look good. That looks stupid.
Yeah.
Let's just leave her eyes normal, because her eyes would be still normal.
They would be.
You normal. Your eyes don't like change.
No.
When you instantly die like that. That's not how that shit works.
Yeah.
So.
And then in the end, though, he gets his family. He gets the key.
He does.
Which is the worst part.
Yeah.
I feel like she should have been like, bye.
Oh my god.
Like, nope.
Oh my god, guys.
And instead it like makes them closer, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It would be one thing if she, like, again, if he didn't sleep with her and was just obsessed with her, then I'd be like, yeah, of course your wife is gonna like have your back and stuff. But you did it. And he admits it, like he tells her.
Yeah, he came
He's like,
after
look,
her,
I had an affair.
Months later.
Yeah, and she's like,
after their kid has been kidnapped.
Oh my god. Dude, no.
This was after the rabbits boiled. right?
Yeah.
Is when he comes forward.
Yeah, and he's like, I know who did this.
Did the
tells her,
kid get
she's
kidnapped by that point or no?
Yes. I think.
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe not.
I think it's in between those two things.
I don't know.
Regardless, irregardless.
It's funny too because the cops in this, like, he goes to them and they're kind of like, because he like kind of tries to talk to them like a client of mine.
You're right.
And they're like, we literally know it's you. Like, we know you're talking
Don't
about
bullshit
yourself.
us.
They're not like that helpful, which is funny.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like, you did it. Like, if we arrest her, like, that's gonna make her angrier, dude. Like,
that's true.
they kind of act like they're like
situation.
just let her calm down. Like, she's got to get out of her system.
She's just on her period.
Yeah, that's how they act. They're like,
Yeah.
she's just a woman. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, we all cheat.
We all do this.
They eventually go away.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Trust this guy.
Very funny.
So, all right, yeah. And the moral of the story is your wife will stay with you no matter what.
No, the more.
That's pretty much
Don't
it.
cheat.
Dude, people leave people for nothing.
I know.
She sticks around after this.
Trust me.
It's crazy.
I
But that's,
know.
I mean, that's reality, though. Some people will put up with anything. Some people won't put up with anything.
Yeah. Everyone's different.
Everyone is different, dude.
Yeah.
I've definitely had experiences in the past where I'm like, you know, I'm talking to clients of mine where I'm like, your husband's done all of that to you and you still are with him? You still love him?
Yeah.
And then I, in relationships, did literally nothing. I mean nothing
And then,
in certain instances. And they're like, I'm out. I fucking hate you. And I'm like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like very honest about it. I'm a very reflective person that's very like open and honest about what I've said and what I've done. And I'm sitting there being, I'm really trying to go through it like, what the fuck did I do to get to, why am I being left right now? What did I do?
Yeah.
And then I listen to clients who are like, my husband beats me, cheats on me, ties me to the back of a fucking horse and runs me down the road, tars and feathers me every night, and I still love him. And I go home and I cough, and my girl's like, I'm out of here. How dare you cough without covering your mouth? Anyway, all right, next movie up, Kaylee's favorite.
Yes, it is.
The Fan.
Yeah, this was definitely my favorite of the ones we watched. I just think Robert De Niro is, like, actually insane. Like, that's my takeaway from this, is I just think he plays it too well that I don't think it's an act. I think he's actually like this. This is the scariest one to me, honestly. Maybe it is just because Robert De Niro, like, terrifies me.
The amount of times Kaylee has done this.
Bobby! Hey, Bobby!
She does
Let's
it like
play some ball!
She does this like every fucking hour since we watched this movie.
It's so good. I love it. Yeah, I mean, he's just like, okay, Gil in this, like, the whole like setup to like when he just like loses it and everything. Like, it's all very like, I guess kind of paint by numbers, but like what you would think would happen to a guy that would make him like lose his mind. Like, is he already like unstable? Yes, he is.
Yeah.
We know that because his wife is like, I'm leaving you, I'm not with you, I'm married to a new man, I don't really want you to have, you know, like, we know that he's got issues already, right? But it's like, he sells knives for a company that his dad, I guess, kind of started, or used to be a knife maker for, but he's just like some lowly, like, salesman there, and like I said, his wife is married to another dude now, or getting married, and he like doesn't have full custody of his kid, who's, you know, started calling the new guy dad here and there, and like,
none of these are very good proof that he's a bad guy.
No.
His wife wanted to leave him. He sells knives, and he doesn't have custody. Fuck this guy.
No, I'm not saying he's a bad guy. What I'm saying
he is.
So okay, but I'm saying he's got all this stress on his life.
Yeah.
He starts doing really bad at work. He like isn't getting the clients and stuff. Like he like all this is happening at work. He gets fired eventually. He like is trying to like balance like having his kid, and then on top of all of this,
asshole.
no. I'm saying these are the stressors that make him like crack. I'm not saying this is what makes him bad.
Yeah.
I'm saying this is like what leads up to it. He's trying to like, he's super obsessed with baseball.
Yeah.
Like beyond super obsessed.
Yeah.
And it's like the one thing that he like loves in life, and he's trying to connect to his son on it, but he's like pushing it down his son's throat.
100%.
And so like there's this really big scene where they go to a baseball game, and he's also trying to like make an appointment for his work because he's like, I got a game, like I need to go to the game, but I want to try and do this. And he leaves his son alone there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff with his son though that I think is really great. Like in that scene, you know, like I said, he's trying to connect with his son on baseball.
Yeah.
And his son like was like kind of looking around at one point. He's like, "Hey, like keep your eyes on the game," and like he's just very hard on him. And you can the kid's acting is great because he really plays that like he wants to make his dad proud, but he's also just a kid, and he's just kind of like, you know, just whatever. Like he plays like Little League or whatever, but like.
He's doing it for dad.
He's doing it for dad, and I think he has really great acting in that.
As someone who was raised by a guy who actually reminds me a lot of this guy, I feel like every movie I'm like, hey, I have a story. But it's true. You know, I was raised by my stepfather, and he had some physical ailments, or at least he said he did. And so he didn't get to do the things he wanted to do. And the thing he wanted to do above all else was play hockey. And so he used me as his vessel to do that for him. And so he forced me to play ice hockey, which I had no interest in at all. I was okay at it. Like, I was good at it, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really give a shit. But I wanted to, like, make him proud. So I went out and I trained and I pushed myself and got injured a lot and whatever. I eventually quit because he was a fucking asshole about it, and no matter what I did, I was never good enough. The first game I ever played, he recorded it and then took me home and showed me all the things I did wrong in the whole video. He was calling me a fucking retard and a faggot and all this stuff in it, and him and my mom were like laughing at me the whole time, like, look at this little pussy, like, you know, all this. And I was just sitting there like, well, this is what I get after years of training and giving it my all for you? Fuck you. And I walked out and never played again. After that night, I was like, no, I'm done. I will never play again. And him and I, that was like the rift between us from that day on. So I fucking fully get what's going on here with this scene of that like very aggressive father who's sitting next to you, and you want to impress him by being like, yeah, I know what's going on and I care about this thing, and him being like, it's never fucking enough, it's never good enough, you didn't watch that play close enough, you don't even know what's going on, do you not know what this play is, you fucking retard? You know what I mean?
So there's definitely
it's very angering to watch. And I know where it leads.
I don't have the he also kind of reminds me of my dad in a way, but for different reasons in this, mostly just like kind of how he gets like in the later part of the film and stuff, but anyway, like it's just, you know, and he calls into this like radio station, and he's like, he just knows everything about the game and about like his main player, which is like Bobby. I don't remember what his last name is, but number 11. Just obsessed with him, and he's like, he is so dedicated to this guy. Like, he, I guess, has recently come over from another team, and there's all this buzz about like he's lucky number 11 on his old team, and he comes to this new team and he doesn't have that number anymore, and he's playing like shit, and like all the fans are like, we hate you, like go back to wherever. And Gil is just like, no, like he's God tier, like he's the best of the best.
So I think what's happening there is Gil is very prideful, and he called in and stuck up for Bobby and was like, he's gonna be great. And in saying that, he can't, like, he's infallible to himself. His baseball knowledge cannot be questioned.
Right.
And when Bobby's not playing well, he can't handle it.
Yeah.
He's like, no, he's gonna do well. I said he's gonna do well. You got to stick with him. I'm right. I'm always right about baseball.
Yeah, I think you're right. I do think that also is an element that like triggers him, where he's like, I have to make this true.
Yeah.
Because I
can't be wrong.
This is the only thing in my life that I'm like good at.
But he said it on the air,
baseball.
Right? Like, this is all. He's a San Francisco Giants fanatic.
Yeah.
He went on to the popular radio station that covers that team. He's a regular caller.
Yeah.
He makes this proclamation that Bobby's going to be great. Isn't it Bobby Dugan? Or am I completely off on that? I think that might be a different character from a different movie. Fuck it, whatever. Moving on. he like makes this proclamation and his name, like his pride is riding on this, right?
I totally think that's part of it,
and
too.
he just can't let it go. Like, no, he has to be great.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm wrong.
Yeah. But I mean, like, once he loses the job, he gets fired horribly. Like, the guy, his boss is so shitty towards him about it.
Yeah.
And then after the baseball game thing where he he goes back after leaving his son there. His son's not there at the baseball stadium.
Yeah.
Goes back to, his ex-wife's house and the kids there, and like there's this whole hubbub like where he's, he like just breaks in the door, goes in and is like giving his kid hanging out with his kid, but like that's it, right? Like she's like, no, like you're not gonna be around him at all.
Yeah. There's a good line between him and his kid before this. It really shows you like where his headspace is at with all of this. He talks about baseball being so great, and he's like, people say baseball is life, and he's like, baseball's better than life.
Oh, yes.
Because it's fair.
Yes.
And you can see how much he believes life is not fair.
Yes, to him.
And to him, baseball, like, it evens him out.
Right.
Like, when he sees the game is played by specific rules.
Right.
And life isn't.
Yeah.
And the reason he loves baseball so much is because he feels the scales are balanced. Yeah. In that regard, and like in watching it, he feels a sense of power while watching it that he doesn't feel in life. And when Bobby's not playing well, that tips the scales out of balance for him.
Totally. Yeah, that is a really great line, for sure. Yeah, it's kind of funny because we were kind of asking ourselves, like, after he, like, loses his job and stuff, like, he's just, like, following them around to all these different games and stuff, and, like, his house, like, it starts to become more and more, like, full of baseball things and stuff, so it's like, I don't know how he's affording all this, but whatever.
Well, and then it starts to fall apart, and he's like fucking sticking knives through bugs in his house.
I was just thinking about that. He like throws a knife and like spears a cockroach or something.
Dude.
Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it just becomes this like he's like I need to like he wants to get him his number back, so he kills what's his face?
Del Toro's
super
character.
Young. He like goes to this sauna that he's at or whatever.
Well, before that, there's a phone call where Bobby's on the line, and he calls in, and he's talking to Bobby for the first time ever, and he's all, starstruck and whatever.
Like, not through the radio, because they
This is on the radio, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was, like, the very first time they spoke. Oh, no,
this is the first
you're
time
right.
they
Okay,
spoke.
yeah, on the radio.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he's all excited about it because he talks to Bobby on the radio station. He calls in, and he's like, this guy should give you his number. Who the fuck is this guy? You're Bobby, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, man, maybe I should have you talk to him for me.
Right.
And it's like,
yes, and
careful what you say to fanatics.
But he, like, records the calls. So he's, like, sitting in his house, like, playing it over and over again. Bro, I'm telling you, like, Robert De Niro, and that, like, he's just so
He's
scary.
like, maybe I should have you talk to him. Maybe I should have you talk to him. Maybe I should have you talk to him.
And so he goes. Yeah, he goes and finds him at this, like, sauna or whatever.
And he does try to just talk to him.
At first, yeah, he's like...
I don't think he goes there to kill him. At all. But I think he disrespects him so much, and he feels like he has no other choice, and he loses.
Well, yeah, I think he has an insane anger issue, obviously, yes. And it takes very
But I do
little.
not believe that he goes there to kill him.
Yeah,
I really think he thinks he's going to talk him out of it.
Yeah, but
and when he disrespects him,
he kills him.
He fucking
and
loses
he kills
it.
him in he stabs him like in his leg in that vein down there.
Yeah.
And just pulls it out and like crazy. So this guy dies.
It's actually a pretty like
but not before
realistic and kind of unsettling
it
death.
Was really unsettling
because he's this powerful athletic guy, right?
Yeah.
He's like a professional athlete, and you can see he has like a lot of power and energy to him at first, but as soon as that knife gets stuck in and he pulls it out, he kind of just starts to wind down, and it's like his battery's draining, and
really
he finally kind of just goes out. It's fucking scary
because that's
what happens.
So fast.
Oh my god, it's the fastest way you can die is this vein in your leg.
It's made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, but he like cuts off he's got a tattoo of number 11 because it's also his number, or not a tattoo. It's a brand. Yeah. He cuts off his skin. Crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then
puts it in Bobby's freezer.
It doesn't work though, because Bobby, like, he goes in and now they all have this, like, number 11, like, on their jerseys or whatever, and
but
like some
Bobby
guys...
does get his because he's wearing the 11 on his sleeve for the guy. He's still 33, but because he has the 11 on him now, he starts playing well again.
But like one of his like teammates is like, no, we all get to be 11, because they all like blame him for it, which is funny because it's like he didn't kill him. But then he does start doing better. He starts playing better. Yep. He starts like winning all these games, doing all this stuff. Yep. And Gil's just like, hell yeah. And so then the other part of this is like Gil's like, he's stalking him at his like beach house. Like he watches him and his kid. Yeah. And like it progresses to where like one day like the kid's trying to like go out surfing with the dog that they have, and or like paddle boarding or something, and the dog like kind of drags him under, and Bobby's in the house and everything. The kid's like out there drowning. Gil runs over, saves the kid. Yeah. Bobby's like, hey, like come inside, like thank you so much.
Steals his jersey.
And then he goes in to like give him clean clothes, and he like steals his jersey and puts it on underneath his clothes, and it's scary like just seeing him in that house, because then they like go to talk in the kitchen, and he's like, do you know who I am? And he's like, no, I don't know who you are. And he tells me he's a baseball player, and he's like, oh, I'm glad you like not, because Gil's like, oh, like I don't know, I like it a little bit or whatever.
Yeah, he lies to him.
He lies to him, and Bobby's like, I'm glad you're not like one of those like fanatics.
Right, those guys are losers.
Yeah, he says those guys are losers. And
oh my god.
The like look on his face, like this is why I get so scared of him, because you're just like, no, like he's not the guy you should be saying that to.
Dude, you gotta be wary of that.
And I totally agree. Well, like with Bobby, what he says, because he's like, it's just a game. Like we're not doing heart surgery or whatever. On the flip side, to some people, like that's their love, like that's their passion.
It is their life, but this is the thing, and I agree with Bobby in this way. As a enormous Phoenix Suns fan for so long, the fans are with you until they're not, right? And it's like, oh, you're only as good as your last bat, right? Yeah. And it's like when people can turn on you that fast. When people are like, oh my god, you're a hero, and then you struggle a little bit, and then you're a fucking loser, and they're throwing shit at you and telling you can go fuck yourself and all this stuff. It does. It's kind of like, oh, cool, so I'm nothing to you.
Well,
like, you don't actually care about me. You only care what I can bring to the team. Which makes sense, but I completely get where Bobby's coming from of like, fuck these guys.
Because what he says is like, they don't seem to understand, like, I'm the same person whether I'm batting well or not. And it's like,
they don't see him as a human being at all.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
They see him as a statistic.
Yes. Or like a little like toy that they get to like move around and stuff. Like and Gil's like, well, like why you're doing good now? Like what changed? And Bobby's like, I just stopped caring about it. Which is like, again, another like, oof. Like, what are you saying? And he's like, you stopped caring? He's like, you stopped caring? Like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, I just like, what he's saying is he stopped being like
self-conscious.
Yeah, like he let go the like, oh my god, if I don't do good, which is a good thing. Yeah. Like it's not bad. And then so they like he's like
pitching to him.
Yeah, they pitch, and he's like, let me give you my best pitch and all this stuff, and then he's like, yeah, like now that it's just the two of us, like just tell me, like it's because you got your number back, right? Like that's why.
Because the guy got killed, right?
And like, he's like, no.
You're thankful for that.
He's like, no, and he's like, just tell me, like while we're right here alone, and you're like.
Bobby takes all this stuff very well.
I love the way Bobby's written, though, because he, at this point, like, and even before a little bit, but definitely here, he's like, something's wrong. Like, this guy is like...
But he doesn't want to provoke him.
He doesn't. And he's like, all right, man, like, I'm tired. Like, I'm going to go home. Like, are you okay? Like, blah, blah. Like, he really tries to be like, whatever. Yeah. And then Gil just fucking steals his kid.
And his dog.
Yeah. Leaves the, like, 11 skin patch in his freezer. And, like, from there, this is when it's, like, all so scary. Because he's just, like, he calls him. He's like, I'm going to kill your fucking kid if you don't hit, like, a home run. Yeah. And you're like... And he's
which kind of mirrors the beginning.
Are you listening now? Like, are you paying attention now?
Yeah.
And you're like...
This kind of mirrors the beginning, right? When this cancer kid's like, can you hit a home run for me? And it's, like, on his mind. And he's struggling. And then... he fucking finds out that the kid died before he even played the game. Yeah. Reminds me a lot of the scene in Basketball when he's like, can you hit a home run for me, Coop? And he's like, this is Coop Cooperson. he could hit 2 home runs. And he's like, 2? Could you hit 2? And he's like, sure, he could. He could hit 3. And he's like, 3 home runs? And he's like, what the fuck are you doing to me? And he misses the 3rd one, and the kid starts yelling choke and dies. So fucking funny. If you haven't seen basketball, it's the greatest shit ever.
Yeah.
I don't have your fucking ball.
Oh my god, love that line. So you're right. It does mirror the opening part.
So it's like there's like a little stress on him because it's a cancer kid, but then in the end, it's like this kid's gonna die if you don't hit a home run, or your kid's gonna die if you don't hit a home run.
Right.
So it kind of really, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah.
To quote George Lucas.
Yeah, and just everything with Gil, like he goes and finds like his old, not coach, but like another teammate.
It's another teammate from his.
Who's like, who's that? And he's like, this is my son, and he's just like,
why is he black?
and then he tells him, he's like, oh, it's Bobby's like son or whatever, and like this guy like realizes, he's like, oh, this is bad. This is bad. Mind, and so he tries to save the kid, and he dies, which is really sad.
He does. Tries saving the kid.
Yeah.
He's like, run.
Yeah. And then Gil ends up like he goes to the game and he like knocks out the umpire or whatever. So he's like on the field when all this is happening, and like all the police know, and like the like announcer, or like I don't know if the announcers know, but the radio host chick knows for some reason. All of it's really sad because like when like he calls Gil, there's also a line earlier where he's like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? Like, what can I give you? And he's like, I want every time people think about you, they also think about me. Like,
we're tethered.
What? And so, because he's like, I want you to hit a home run and say this is for Gil, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, he goes on the field and, like, he hits a home run. And Gil, being the umpire, he hits it in the field.
In the park.
Or in the park. Yeah. And then Gil's like, nope, you're out.
You're
and
out.
It's
when
like,
he's clearly safe.
When he's safe. And, and
it's and there's an added tension to it because it starts raining.
Yes.
And baseball, they'll call they'll call the game off because of rain. You can't play in the rain like you can in football or whatever. So he's like freaking out, and when the guy like wants to walk him, he's like, you have to fucking throw me a pitch. You have to throw me a pitch. You can't do this to me.
Really tense. Really, really tense.
Yeah.
And and then like Gil, like I don't know why they have the cameras on him, like when he's down there with the knife, because he like goes and like attacks and stuff. But it's sad because he's like looking back, like he sees himself on the like screen.
This is what he's always wanted.
Yeah, and he's like, let me give you my pitch. Yeah. And then he goes to like throw the knife and of course gets shot and killed. And it's just like, it's a heavy movie, honestly. Like, it's really upsetting and very tense, and
It's also funny because you find out in the end that like this dude peaked.
Yeah, the ending is 12. So awful.
He's like a little leaguer who hit a home run, and this is like his best moment of his life.
He has like a newspaper of like Gil, whatever, like saves the day for his team, and I'm just like,
it's like all he ever fucking. It's like the best moment of his life is hitting a home run when he was in Little League. But this mirrors a lot of people who like peak in high school and they thought they were like town heroes and shit, and then that fame and infamy goes away,
right?
And then nobody cares about them anymore when they were like gods in high school, and now they're like balding 40-something-year-olds with a family, and people cut them off in traffic, and at the grocery store, and they're like, "What the fuck? I'm the guy who hit the game winner at the," and they're like, "Who gives a shit? It was in fucking middle school."
Yeah.
But you're like, that was the best moment of my life.
I know. That makes me sad. It makes me really sad for him.
Yeah.
But, this one, I know we talked about this one a little bit too long, but this one was my favorite. I think this one's fantastic as a film.
Yeah.
Yeah, very scared of Robert De Niro. He's just like Mark Wahlberg in Fear to me. Although he's scarier. Robert De Niro's scarier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we've got The Crush with Alicia Silverstone.
God.
This one's interesting because there's a lot of these like jailbait movies that they've made, the Poison Ivy movies and Angel movies and stuff, where they have the girl who's right on that cusp. Although Alicia's 16 in the movie, but she's playing 14, so she's not that like you know, that cusp, that line of like, oh no, like she's right there, but you can't do it, right? No, she's 14 fucking years old, right? So, but he never tries anything, right?
No,
right? Like,
he doesn't.
The movie doesn't go in that
he does
direction.
Kiss her, but
no, she kisses him, and he doesn't fight back fast enough.
Yeah.
But he gets wrapped up in the moment, and I think that's part of it. It's like she has this charm to her, and she has this like old soul kind of thing where she feels mature, and he gets wrapped up in the moment, and she kisses him, and he's like, and it's hard to talk about this movie as a guy defending anything because it'll make me look bad, but I'll do my best to toe that line and try to remain as neutral and like, you know, not creepy as possible.
I understand what you're saying, and like, yeah, I think, okay, like, so he's very, I mean, this is what's his face? This is Carrie Ells. Like, he's super handsome in this.
Yeah.
He's younger.
Yeah.
And
he says he's 27.
28.
28.
Yeah, like, really handsome. He's a writer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he moves into the guest house at her parents' house, like, to rent.
No background check, by the way.
No background check.
Just I'll take it.
Like,
and she's like, okay.
They're like, come on in.
That's it.
Super easy.
God, miss those days.
Yeah. And, yeah, like, of course, a 14-year-old girl is going to have a crush on him. Of course. All that makes sense. And what I'll say is that she's super manipulative. She's definitely the villain.
She's like a savant.
She's like very
genius.
Intelligent,
yes.
Manipulative, knows what she's doing is wrong and does it anyway.
Yeah.
He should have moved sooner. That's what I'll say. Like, 100%. Him staying there at all after a certain point, I'm like, dude, no. Like, you are, like, I don't care how hard it is for you to move. I don't care how inconvenient it is for you to move.
It wouldn't be that hard. He didn't do a background check. He didn't sign a lease with them. And he has like 3 things.
The reality is...
because that place comes furnished. Like, he has nothing. He can leave in 2 minutes.
He is attracted to her on some level. A little bit.
He is.
He's flattered by it for sure. He gets a
girlfriend. She's cute as fuck.
He gets a girlfriend in this, but his girlfriend's like, okay.
Oh my god,
she's like not even like it's not even yeah. His girlfriend is so hot, so intelligent.
Yeah,
like just seems like all around like yes, of course, like be with her. She's your age or whatever. Like she might even be younger than you. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I think it's really funny because it's like I think this is like a very stressful movie to watch. This is kind of like. This movie and Fatal Attraction are both, like, guys' worst nightmares, I guess, when it comes to things, because it's like, yeah, you have this young girl who's, like, obsessed with you, but she's gonna ruin your fucking life, and, like, she does, and then, like, obviously gets caught, thankfully, but, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... her being 14...
is insane.
Definitely changes the film a bit, for sure. Not a bit, a bunch. Because if they made her like 17, that would make the film a bit different. I mean, it's still wrong for sure. But, you know, I mean, there's multiple states in this country where 16 and 17 are the, you know, consenting law and whatever.
Still.
So I'm not saying, what I'm saying is making her 14 makes her completely off limits in all regards, no matter what like way you want to spin it.
Yeah, if you want to be like legally, she's
completely.
Blah, blah, blah.
There's nothing that you can do here,
No.
and you shouldn't for any reason, for sure. But they play her in such a way. She's written in such a way. She's acted in such a way where he gets swept up in it for a moment. He doesn't do anything. Really.
No, he doesn't.
But he does, like, you know, she's so smart. She thinks he's so amazing. And this is a guy he's not very good at what he does. He's pretty insecure about it. This girl comes around who's very cute and is, like, obsessed with his shit. And is, like, you know, so well-spoken, so articulate, so, you know, sees him for the thing he wants to be. And he takes her out for a drive. Bad idea, but he does. And they sit there in this nice romantic little area, and she's telling him all the things he's ever wanted to hear, and then leans in to kiss him, and he just in the moment is just like, oh, this is so nice. And then he's like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? And leaves it and never even for 1 second approaches it again.
But there's also...
So I don't blame the guy for the moment. That's all I'm saying.
The other part, though, is that, like, when he, like, sneaks into the house... and is like trying to find I don't remember what he's looking for actually now, but anyway, he like sneaks into the house. She's there. He hides in her closet.
Yeah.
She knows he's there and just like undresses in front of him and like stands and stares at the closet. And like he's looking at her body like that's a nice body. And
I'm
that's,
sure she has
that's the other
a great
thing,
body.
Though. So like that's, I mean, yeah. I think they're both in the wrong, honestly. Like, I think he should have been, like... I just think he should have left and not put himself in that situation, because...
Oh, I agree.
That's, like, my main thing with this. Like,
yes.
I think he... Like, part of the blame lies on him, for sure. He's the adult. He has all this agency. He's the one that should have gone and been like, nope, like, not gonna even be near that. But her performance is great, because, yes, like we kind of talked about, she... is so much more mature than like the other kids her age, that it's like seems like it's hard for her to have friends and to like, you know, all this stuff.
I'm glad you brought that up.
So like that's like, it's a sympathetic part of her, because it's like you do feel bad that she's that's like kind of what she says to him too, like when they have like their thing where it's like, you know, all these... Everyone my age all the adults, like, treat her like a kid, because she is a kid.
Yeah.
But she plays this character really well, because there's times, like, where she is, like, herself, and she's very, just, again, mature, intelligent, like, blah, blah, blah. And then she'll also turn on this, like, child mode.
Yeah.
Where, like, when she's around her parents, or whenever she's trying to get her way with something, she's like, I'm just, like, an innocent... Or when she's
taken away from the cops.
All of that. She's like, I'm just a little 14-year-old, like...
Me?
And you're just like, oh... This is like Esther.
It's a fucking nightmare.
But she's actually a kid.
Yeah, orphan. 100%.
So
it's terrifying.
Terrifying.
It's terrifying. But you're right. He should have gotten the fuck out of there.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, to try to pretend, though, and this is where I toe the line of, like, what's wrong and what's right and whatever. But, like, the reality of it is like, he does know her age. Right? So there is no denying that. Like, he is very aware, and therefore it makes it wrong. But if I was to show you like 5 different pictures of women, and you was to be like, are these girls attractive? And you looked at all 5 and you're like, yeah, and you're like, okay, which one of these girls is underage? You'd just be like, I don't know. Like, fuck, now I feel like a pervert. And it's like, you can't help what you're attracted to. If a person has a fucking, like, a body and whatever that looks adult, and of course you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's attractive. But it's wrong because of where she is mentally, right? Like, at that age, she's not ready for what you might want to give her, right? That's what makes it wrong. You know, if for some reason you're attracted, you can't help what you're attracted to. That's just part of being human. You can deny it all you want. You can try to fucking play the games in your head of like, no, I would never be attracted to that. I could show you a picture of a 17-year-old girl that I guarantee you will be attracted to, right? It's just that exists. But you can't ever do anything about it. You can't ever cross the line and touch them, flirt with them, any of that stuff. It's just wrong.
Well, like I said,
it is, and
when you're
I
the
get
adult, like, you are the one that is responsible for any of those interactions. Like, no matter how manipulative she is in this movie, he's the adult. He needs to leave. He needs to be, like, putting up boundaries and stuff, and he does not put them up enough. Like, even if he is going to stay, he doesn't give her, like, this, even, there's a few times when he's like, no, like, nothing between us or whatever. It's not enough. It's not enough. The other part of this is that she literally writes the article for him that gets him, like, good at work. Yeah. Like, so, it's just, there's a lot with that. But, you know, and in the end, like, you know, her friend, which is played by,
Clara
from Buffy, which was great to see her, because she knows. She, like, messes her friend up, like sabotages her horse so that she, like, breaks her leg or breaks her arm or something. And anyway, she knows that things are wrong, and, like, after, like, because she shows up, she, like, tells him, like, oh, come to my horse thing. Yeah. He doesn't come, and so she goes and, like, crashes his, like, work party.
Oh, my God.
Makes a huge scene in front of everybody.
An accusation from a girl like that, you're fucked.
A huge scene.
No matter what you did or didn't
And
do.
then, like, she stages that she got raped because, like, the other messed up part is, like, she steals, like, his condom and, like, has his semen.
Woo,
and
doggy.
So, like, it's all awful because, like, everybody's like, what are you talking about? Like, we literally found your semen in her.
Oh, my God.
Like, you raped her. And he's like, no.
Your life is
worst
fucking
case,
over.
Right?
Now, could the doctors tell how old the semen was up in her at this point in the timeline, like in the mid-90s? I don't know if they had the technology then, maybe. Now, if you tried to, like, they would be able to find, like spermicide or lubricant or whatever's inside of a condom, and they would also be able to tell like this semen has been dead.
Yeah, I was
for
gonna
like
say because
10 days or something. And
like...
you said you were raped today. That doesn't work.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, so I think under forensic scrutiny, I don't think her case would hold water.
But nobody would think that because like.
But if he's suggesting that, they would then have to go look into it. And when they came back and they were like, "You're right. The timelines don't match up."
Yeah, this is like a really shitty movie for like, no, well, whatever. I don't want to go into that actually because it's gonna. We have actually something to do at 4, and we only have like 13 minutes
We might
left.
have to pause this and come back to it because
anyway.
Yeah.
The friend helps out, and
we find out she's like she's afraid of wasps.
Oh, the girlfriend. The girlfriend is like.
Oh, you're talking about Tara. From
yeah, well,
Buffy.
she does something horrible to the guy's girlfriend and like puts like wasps in her like dark room.
Yeah.
And she gets messed up from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tara from Buffy, I don't know what her friend's name is in this, helps him.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I know she writes everything down in her like diary, like it's all in there. And
that's what he's looking for.
Which is
in
what
her
he.
room.
Yeah. Anyway.
And she makes her break her arm on the horse.
Yes, yeah, which is what I had said earlier. But, like, in the end, she gets caught.
Yeah.
They find the diary and everything. And, you know, they take her off to, like, an institution, like a facility.
Yeah.
And she's obsessed with her doctor.
Yeah.
But she's still writing him letters.
We can't forget the funniest fucking part of the whole movie. I'm so glad I didn't forget this. He punches her, and she flies across there because there's this carousel up in the attic her dad built for her because he never wants her to grow up, which I actually think there's a little, like, unsaid weird thing going on with her father where he's kind of fucked her up because she's so intelligent and, like, wants to be so adult, but her dad is very repressive, with her. And she's like kind of rebelling against her dad because her dad is like trying to keep her a child forever, which adds to his anger towards the guy for like raping his daughter.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean any dad would be mad about that, but like especially like my daughter's not, like 5, you know, like in his head he's like she's not even in an age where anyone would want to have sex with her. So like they're in the big fight up in the attic and he punches her and I laughed so hard because she flies across
She's just
the
room. Yeah, really funny.
So that was very funny. Yeah. And then she's obsessed with the doc. So this was not him. This just shows that she's gonna become obsessed with any dude.
Yeah, which is really sad because she is like clearly very intelligent. So. Maybe we should pause it here. That way
we'll come back to it
after.
That's probably smart. So we'll be back. It won't be any time for you, but we'll be right back. And we're back.
It's darker now.
It's been like 3 hours, I think. It's been a long while.
3 hours.
Yeah, we did a solo patron hangout.
Yes.
First ever.
So that's something if you ever want to do. Talk to us one-on-one.
Unless you're a freak weirdo. Don't do that. We definitely run into some weirder people, but not the person we talk to.
Not at all.
Not at all.
It was great.
Shout out to them who will remain anonymous. All right. So next up, we've got Adrienne, the landlady.
Oh yeah, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talia Shire, however you say her first name. I don't know how to say her first name. From Rocky and Godfather fame. She's slumming it here in one of these like straight to VHS 90s thrillers. I think this is the 90s. It could be the early 2000s, but I think it's the 90s. I didn't write down the year, but that's what it seems like it is. So this is a different kind of movie for sure. I was trying to kind of keep it. I was trying to keep a variety. Going here with these movies. I wasn't trying to do the same movie over and over and over again, right? Like, because there's a lot of like similar type films, but I did like the girl obsessed with the dude, and then the kid or the guy obsessed with the fucking baseball player, and then the like kid obsessed with the older man, and this one is the older woman obsessed with the younger man.
Yeah.
So Talia, I think is how you say her name. We'll just call her the landlady. Let's call her Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian.
From Rocky. That's how everyone knows her. So Adrian is married to the biggest scumbag on planet Earth. Oh my god.
Literally
this movie is like exaggerated to the nth degree. Everything is so over the top.
Yes. So over the top. I mean, like, she comes home and finds him.
No, she doesn't come home. She's like riding her little bicycle to get the groceries.
She's very proper. She's
and her
a very
cute
like
little outfits.
Super cute little outfits. But she's one of those like characters that's very like no cursing.
Normie, yeah.
No, don't use the Lord's name in vain, even though she does herself.
She's fucking murdering people.
But yeah, she comes across her husband like having sex with some other girl. And she's kind of like
total young, hot,
attractive.
babe.
And then when you see him later, he's so grody and like just no. And like you think like okay, maybe he's gonna like pretend like he did. No, she's like I went over to so and so's house, and I saw you with her, and he was like good. Finally got to see what some real sex looks like. Just like
it's about time.
What are you talking about?
He's so
horrible.
awful to her.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yes.
Anybody who watches this and doesn't think that he deserves to die, I really question who they are as a person.
Yes.
This guy is begging for him to kill her, and if I was on the jury, innocent.
100%.
Like, this guy is so awful.
She kills him in a pretty gnarly way too because he's allergic to shellfish. So she puts like
crab meat
in
canned
his
crab meat
meal and then hides his like EpiPen or whatever.
It takes way too long for him to have an allergic reaction. If you have a shellfish allergy, it's instant.
That's what I thought too. I thought it happened like right away.
I mean, boom. Right. As soon as you start feeling it, your throat is closing up and you've got to have an EpiPen. That's why the EpiPen, you have to have it on you.
It's scary.
Because you can't like wait for an ambulance to get there or anything. You'll be dead by the time it gets there. It is fast as fuck. My brother has a peanut allergy. And I've seen it happen. He gets a peanut in him, like a peanut, some kind of peanut gets in him from peanut butter or whatever. Oh my god, it's so fast. He's fucking dead in a minute if you don't get an EpiPen.
That's so scary. It's really, really scary. Yeah, but this guy, it's slow. So there's like time for her to kind of be like, that wasn't chicken delight or whatever. That's crab meat. And he's like, I'm allergic. And then he dies. He tries to shoot her. And then it cuts to her.
She's like, I took the bullets. She knew exactly what. And she took the phone.
She took the phone.
Which is great.
She's like dark and twisted in this for sure.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to her like moving.
Why? Okay, my question here though is, if you are deathly allergic to crab meat, why does she have 3 cans of crab meat in the house? She did not go out and buy those. I think this was
I think she went back out and got them.
No, she finds them. She finds them in the cupboard and makes the decision right then and there. For sure. She does not purchase these things. But that is crazy to me to keep crab meat in a house like that.
If either of us had any kind of like
I wouldn't even bring them in the house.
I wouldn't even eat it.
No way.
If it was like peanut butter or something.
Just in case. You don't want to leave any kind of remnants on a piece of silverware or anything. You've got to be very careful with that kind of stuff. And so 100%. She has 3 cans of crab meat in the house, which I almost feel is like a Freudian kind of thing where she's like
maybe one day I'll kill him.
Like, it's just there, just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that's pretty funny. Yeah. So... Yeah, and then it cuts to like she's moving to LA because his sister, I think, or maybe it's her sister or an aunt, sorry, It's either her aunt or his aunt. I think it's her aunt.
Somebody in the family dies and leaves
leaves them the apartment. So she moves in and becomes the landlady. And like literally the first day that she's there,
yeah,
she meets the man that she obsesses over. He is a social worker, so he cares about children and family, and he is young and handsome and
he's a good
single.
Guy.
Well, not single, but yeah, he's a good guy, and she's just like instant like, yes, he's the one. He's my perfect match. After knowing nothing about him too.
Nothing
like,
at all.
She doesn't even know who he is. In fact, it takes her getting to the end of the movie, pretty much, or like when she kidnaps his girlfriend and is like, tell me what his favorite dish is and all this stuff, because she doesn't know anything about him.
Alright.
Anyway. Yeah, I think this movie, it was pretty fun. Like, I kind of like how ridiculous the apartment people are. Like, there's just straight up like a prostitute that lives there. Not that there's anything wrong with being a prostitute, but it's just very like LA, ooh, prostitutes everywhere or something. Right. Like, it just feels very.
Well, she lives right across from the landlady.
Yeah.
And then she walks her John out into the hallway in a full, like, sexy freaking, like, getup. Like, not lingerie.
She has, like, a
Is it lingerie?
It is lingerie, yeah.
But it is, like, super sexy time. Clearly a prostitute. Walking the guy out, getting the money. The whole fucking spiel. It was hilarious to me. I'm like, why would she walk him out like that? This movie is so exaggerative. This movie is so over the top. This is so classic, like 90s late night type of like, not Skinamax, because it's not softcore at all.
No.
But it's just one of these types of movies that is so exaggerative in every way. It's like hyper exaggerated.
Yes.
Everybody's like a character.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and she's just like, the apartment she moves into is super cute, by the way. Like, really nice, like, big apartment, like, really big.
Because it seems like a shithole on the outside.
It does.
Yeah.
But then, honestly, everybody's apartment inside that we see is nice.
Yeah.
And then there's this, like, busybody lady that, like, was the manager, the building manager.
She's the previous landlady, yeah.
She's not the previous landlady, but the previous landlady was the aunt that died.
No, I know that, but I thought she was, like...
She was the manager. She was, like, doing
all
the stuff. So she was basically, like, the landlady, but she didn't own the building.
Right.
She was doing all the, like, managerial stuff for her. And she is a busybody, as I said, and she's very much, like, not trusting this woman because she's, like, coming in on her territory or whatever. And she finds out, like, she finds a newspaper that says that that there was, like, suspicious death with her husband and everything.
Yeah.
And she kind of calls and gets some information, so she knows something is, like, weird. And then she comes across her, because, like, this lady, like, because she's the landlady, she has keys to everyone's apartment. She doesn't use the key initially, but she goes into this guy's apartment and, like, she, like, takes his shirt, because she spills coffee on it accidentally. She, like, takes his shirt, because she's going to clean it and stuff, but she's, like, holding it and rubbing it on her, and then the manager, like, walks in on her and sees it. And is, like, gonna blackmail her, basically.
Yeah. She's like, I want my place rent-free from here on.
Yes.
And this and that. And
oh, my God. And then she...
So she kills her.
She kills her. She just kills her
straight up murders her.
And the, like, ridiculous part about this movie, for sure, is that she's, like, hiding bodies in the basement.
This, like, very convenient, random basement. Like, you guys ever lived in an apartment complex that just has a random stairway down to a... like dirt floor?
Crazy.
I was
never seen that before.
What is this exactly she's in right now? There's just a stairway down to like the root cellar with fucking no flooring, and it's just like just nothing but dirt. Perfect. It's like the body burial site.
Yes.
That's the only thing it's there for. It's like, hey, you got a body you need to get rid of?
Yeah.
We have a basement for that.
It's so weird. But yeah, she buries her down there, and then.
But she keeps lugging bodies around, and there's this other guy in the in the apartment complex who's like into her, and he's like an older guy that probably would be more age appropriate and more like what she would be. He'd be all about her.
He honestly seems totally fine. Like, you find out that he like wants a green card, Like, he wants to marry somebody because he wants a green card, so it's like he's not really looking for love.
But she's, like, putting people in trunks and having him help her carry them down, and he's, like, just doesn't care. He's not even paying attention to any of that shit. But then later, he does realize there's something in there, and she just, like, lets it fall on him and crush him.
Yeah.
That was fucking funny. This movie's pretty hilarious.
Well, yeah, because then what I was going to say, like, the real crazy part of the movie to me is that she moves this guy that she's obsessed with into where the building manager was, because it's right next to hers, and they share, like, a door.
Adjoining, yeah. It's kind of like in hotels when you have those adjoining room doors.
And she has, this is crazy, how anybody could,
would
like,
install
legally
this for her?
install this, but she has people install a two-way mirror. Or a one-way mirror. What is it called?
It's a two-way mirror.
A two-way mirror.
So, okay. This is that same question of, like, who helped Batman put in this entire Batcave.
Right.
Right? Like, he would have had to hire contract. He didn't do that whole fucking place himself.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you would need a lot of people to be able to build the foundation and all of the shit that's in there. You could not do that as one person. Right? So, like, who the hell did Batman hire?
Yeah.
Like, those are those kinds of questions you just gotta go, whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
Because, no, there's no fucking way that a, like, contractor, construction worker, or whatever, no questions asked, would put a two-way mirror in one adjoining apartment connected to hers.
No.
No fucking way. Anybody would be like, this is insane. You are spying on somebody.
She lied and was like, it's my apartment.
She should have ordered the mirror herself.
Yeah.
Said, can you install this for me? Oh, no. And he's like, can I put the mirror up for you? And she's like, no, I've got that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she does it herself.
Yeah.
That would have made sense. And it would have taken 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And it would have explained how the fuck anyone would possibly put this in
because
there.
it's like a full length, like, because it's where the door, it's not like, okay, we're forgetting, it's not just that it's a two-way mirror, it's also still a door.
I don't even know if
it's still a door.
Yeah, so she can go in and out of his place. I don't even know if you can buy a two-way mirror without, like, a specific...
I feel like you should have, like a license of some
kind. I feel like that would be illegal to buy. Like, you're not going to just buy that at Home Depot. Like, that's something where the only reason you want that is to look at someone without them knowing you're looking at them.
Right.
The only place that I don't even know a two-way mirror exists is either in a police station for interrogations or in, like, you know, grocery stores or in stores where managers are behind mirrors and they can watch their employees. Like, it's only in business settings. No one needs that for a residential location.
Yeah, no, not there's no reason that it would be needed for, like, a residential area.
Wish there would have been a scene, something, where he's like, you want me to put in what? And for her to come up with some bullshit reason.
Because she does have a lot of moments like that where she, like, lies.
She could be like, oh, my mom's moving in next door and she wants to have her privacy, but I need to look in on her. Right. So can we do this? And, don't tell anybody, like, she's a proud woman. See what I'm talking about? I can always write things off the top of my head so easily that would explain something. And this movie's so ridiculous that you don't even need to come up with anything good. But just to completely ignore it is outrageous to me.
So
There's no
silly.
way.
Yeah, because, like, that, and she does. She, like, there's a scene where she's just in bed watching him through it, like, because his bed's on the other side.
So fucking creepy.
So creepy. And then, like, he's, like, walks up and is, like, looking at himself in the mirror. Like, just what you do when you're by yourself and she's on the other side being like, oh, like, he's so perfect. And that is so scary.
Oh, my God. I'll tell you right now, if a girl was watching me, unbeknownst to me, in my bedroom alone, she would fall out of love with me very quickly. This is definitely a never meet your heroes kind of fucking thing for me. Oh my God, this shit, everybody does it. I'm probably worse than others on some things, but I'm gross. And in no fucking way would I want anyone looking at me in that setting.
Yeah, when you think you're alone.
she'd be like, how much does this guy jack off? Jesus, he's going again?
I thought you were going to say, how much does this guy fart?
How much does this guy pick his nose and eat it? No,
Ew,
I definitely
better
don't
not
do that.
Yeah, but it's gross. And she installs, like, a camera, a security camera in his room. And she, like, watches him.
The craziest thing
Crazy
she
stuff.
does in this movie, for me, which is kind of really shows how fucked up she is. I think this is supposed to not only show how fucking crazy she is, but maybe her religious beliefs. I'm not honestly sure. But the crazy fucking thing she does in this film is she takes her husband's urn around with her and she sleeps with it and
She
watches
talks to
like
him.
movies with it
Yeah.
and like sleeps next to it in the
Yeah.
whole dig and talks to it.
Oh, yeah, she talks to him and is like, he's so much better than you, and, like, all this stuff. Like, she's psycho. She's totally psycho.
She is a lunatic.
Yeah, and then when she, like, because the guy has this girlfriend who's, like, struggling with,
Addiction.
pills, yeah, like, addiction, and, like, you know, she's going back and forth, like, just struggling. But she gets clean, or she's, like, trying, like, she's making an effort again and trying to be in his life because she wants to be with him.
Yeah. And he wants to be with her.
And
He
wants to be
wants
with
her to be a better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And she's like, no, you're not going to ruin this, and just goes over to her house and, like, forces her to eat, like, a whole bottle of sleeping pills and kills her after
Yeah.
making her be like, tell me what his favorite this is, tell me what his favorite that is. And then it's, like, so awkward because she plans this, like, or she gets him to go to have dinner with her, basically. Like, she invites him over.
Well, before that, she's like trying to help him out with this like fundraiser or like kid get together or whatever.
Yes.
She's like, I'll make sandwiches and this and
Well, yeah,
that.
because she kills the girlfriend.
And she
And-
ends up like getting held back from leaving because she gets caught in the closet of the hooker's room.
Who's, like,
And
having sex.
she has sex with her John. She's trying to expose her because that girl's trying to blackmail her too. So she's going to have to off this chick. So she gets caught in there all night and misses this function and feels so terrible. She like did everything to get into this guy's life. And then she like lets him down, even though he doesn't even really care. He doesn't even think anything
Yeah,
of
he's like,
her.
oh, all the other parents, like, stepped up, like, it's fine, whatever. But she's like, let me take you to dinner or something. And anyway, he agrees to have dinner with her.
Oh my God.
Which is so awkward because she has it, like, Cajun themed, like, New Orleans style.
All his favorite
Because
shit.
all his favorite stuff is, like, Louisiana, New Orleans food.
Yeah.
Because that's where he met that girl.
Yeah.
And that's, like, all... And he even said, like, this is weird. Like, this is all the first stuff. Or this is all stuff that I've had. Like, why are you doing this? Like, it's... Like, you're either a mind reader...
Yeah.
Or this is just, like, really bizarre.
Little powdered donuts.
And,
yeah.
And yeah, and then he kind of, like, she's like, she starts to, like, confess to him, like, that she, like, is in love with him or whatever. And he's like, nope, like, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to lead you on. Like, he's very much just trying to be like, sorry, that's, like, not what this is
He
at all.
leads her on 0%.
Oh, yeah. He's just a nice guy.
Yeah.
And she's like, she hits him over the head and then ties him into her bedroom.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, like, there's this whole part, yeah, like, with his, you know, one of his clients is, like, this woman who's trying to get custody of her kid back, and she's, like, so relying. She's like, you have to come to court with me. Like, I don't know how to talk to them.
Man.
I have a temper. Like, I need you there to help me. And he's like, yes, like, we're gonna do it. And then because he's tied up, he misses it. And this girl comes over because she's like, that's not like him. Like,
right.
He didn't even call me. Like, that's not like him at all. And, yeah, and so she's kind of the one that you know, well, it's not because of her, but, like, because he frees himself after the
maintenance man gets himself killed.
Yeah, gets killed and leaves. After, well, the maintenance man finds him and is trying to cut him free. And then she comes in and kills the maintenance man, but his scissors are dropped or whatever. It's kind of like this all just, like, series of events at the end, right? And then...
ridiculous.
And then she does get killed because he gets loose and everything, and it's just like, what the fuck?
How does she die again?
He shoots her. Well, she has a gun,
yeah.
and, like, they're wrestling, and then she,
That's
like,
right.
she gets shot.
They do that fucking classic cliche.
Yes.
The gun goes off. Who did it kill?
Yeah.
and then one of them falls over. The amount of time... How many times do you think that's been done in a movie at this point?
So many. It's a huge trope.
It is got to be one of the most overused tropes in cinema. The gun going off as people wrestle for it, and then you have to sit there as the audience for the 5-10 awkward seconds. Who got the bullet?
Is it? Yeah. I mean, you never
and
know.
99% of the time, it's very obvious.
Yeah.
Every once in a great while,
but it's like...
it's shocking.
Yeah, I'm always
it's like,
oh
my God, it's the other person? I never thought it'd be them. But 99.9% of the time, it's always like, it'll be this person and it's that person.
I think he also says, like, because his client is like, who was that? Like, who the fuck is that? And he's like, I think he says, like, nobody. Like, that's nobody. Because it was like, he didn't know her. He was the landlady. Like, she was the landlady.
That's like Andor, right?
Oh.
Who are you?
No spoilers, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was crazy.
Who's watching Andor? Fucking so great.
Anyway, that was a good one. It definitely was entertaining.
I don't know if it's a good movie,
well, I don't
but
think
it's entertaining.
Movie, but like, yeah, all of these have been very entertaining in different ways. These movies are really stressful to watch, I feel.
Oh, wait.
Like,
I have some movies
so
for Kaylee lined up. Boxing Helena, which I should have realized this would be a perfect one for Kaylee, and the movie Sleep Tight, which I think is a Spanish film, if I remember correctly. Both of these movies will fuck her up.
I'm scared.
You will
when he
be
says
fucked
that,
up.
he says it like excited.
Yeah, baby.
But I'm like, I'm scared.
Maybe we should watch Sleep Tight after this. And have you fucking never want to sleep again.
Oh, great. Great.
You won't sleep tight. You'll sleep loose.
Ew.
You'll be like...
One eye open?
Yeah, the whole time. You'll sleep like freaking Gandalf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or a cat.
Or a cat?
Yeah.
Cats don't sleep with their eyes open.
Cats sleep with one eye open.
What?
That's the thing.
Beans sleep all the time.
Cats are always like partly awake when they're sleeping.
Bean now is gone.
That saying is
She's
funny
history.
because do you know who actually sleeps with one eye open?
You, after seeing Sleep Tight.
It's either whales or dolphins, actually.
Oh,
they do.
yeah.
I was telling you about this. I'm trying to remember.
Dolphins are whales.
Well, yeah, but I'm sorry. I know I think it's dolphins that do this, where they sleep with one eye because they like basically have half of their brain like sleeping at a time.
Oh wow, I need that.
Yeah.
Just watch one movie at a time. No 3D for me, but
it's crazy. Anyway.
I keep flexing that muscle of dolphins are whales now
all the time
because I learned that at SeaWorld. And I think I'm like a fucking whale expert now.
Dolphins are, what you should say, what I should say, they're cetaceans. That's what they're called. Which are whales, dolphins, porpoises.
So they're half asleep, so they're half cetaceans, half sedation.
Who out here, dolphin fan? Who out here?
I had no idea dolphins were whales.
Really?
Okay?
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they have blowholes and whatever, but I thought there was whales and I thought there was dolphins.
There's two different kinds of whales.
Who else here didn't know that dolphins are whales?
There's
I had
two
no
kinds
idea.
of whales. There's toothed whales. All toothed whales, all whales that have teeth, have echolocation. And then there's the baleen, or I don't know if that's how you say it, but the whales that are like filter feeders that don't have teeth, but they have
like the blue whales.
It's like the stuff in their mouth is kind of like the stuff for fingernails, and they filter in their food that way.
Plankton.
Those don't have echolocation.
Oh.
Yeah. So all the ones with teeth can echolocate.
We'll have to do a video on that.
No, we won't.
No, we won't.
Nobody cares.
Somebody's excited right now.
I hope so. I'm excited.
Anyway, okay, so last movie, we've got the Julia Roberts joint, Sleeping with the Enemy. This is one I haven't seen since it came out, if I saw it at all. Pretty sure I did back in the day, but another 90s movie here, and this is an obsessive ex-husband who's trying to hunt down his wife who faked her death to get away from him. Want to talk about a fucking monster.
Oh, my God.
Of all the people in these movies, he is the most monstrous. Because there's nothing about him that is likable,
Yeah.
redeemable, charismatic.
This movie really throws you for a loop, too, because, like, I had no idea what this is about. I actually... saying sleeping with the enemy... I thought... I don't know why.
She didn't know.
I thought she was, like, a spy.
Oh, okay.
And she was, like, But I was, like, trying to think about, like, how it was going to be about obsession.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, like, she's, like, a spy, and she's sleeping with the enemy. That's, like, what I thought. But the movie, it starts out where you just think, like, they're this really, like, you know, not normal couple, I would say. But I guess normal. But, like, they're, like, a rich couple. Like, very, like, fancy. And it just feels like they have this very, like, fancy life.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like she's making dinner for him, and then, like, they're getting ready to go to the... But this is the first sign, I think, to me. There might be one before it, but they're getting ready to go to this, like, event together, and she has on a white dress.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, white. I didn't think you would pick that. And she was like, which one did you think I would wear? And he's like, the black one. And she's like, oh, well, it has, like, such a, like, a cutout back. It might get cold. And then it cuts, and she's wearing the black dress.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Because he made her wear the fucking black dress. This guy's crazy. This guy's so scary.
There are guys like this 1,000%.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's people who are like, you know, currently trying to get rid of no-fault divorce and shit. Like,
he 1,000% thinks of her as property.
Yeah.
As something
100%.
he owns. Because him being, like, super OCD about stuff, like, yeah, that's not great, but, like, that in of itself doesn't make you a bad person. Like, him being like, I need all the cans to be facing this way, I need the towels. Like, is it kind of insane for her to have to put up with that?
Yes.
Yes. If she loved him and was like, I know it bothers you, I know it's like you can't control it, but, like, that's also something you should 1,000% work on. Like, if you have a compulsive, like, behavior that's that bad,
yeah,
you know, it's definitely good to work on that.
Yeah.
But not, you know, but that's obviously not it. Like, he is literally just, like, the most controlling person ever.
Oh, he's
just like
fucking monster.
He's just like, everything, I am God. Like, I can control absolutely everything.
He beats the shit out of her.
Yes.
He fucking rapes her.
It's so
fucking,
sad.
Like, her sex with him is
Oh my
rape
God.
100%
Oh my God.
of the time.
In the when she, like, when he goes down and, like, talks to the dude at the boat and is like, oh yeah, I was wondering who that lady was, like, staring down at me or whatever. And he, like, goes back and is like, you were looking at him? Like, why could he see you? Like, they're gonna talk or whatever. For her, just looking. Like, just looking out.
Looking out the window.
Looking out the window. And
Fucking
he
hits her, yeah.
He beats her up.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
goes out, buys her, like, a lingerie thing, and is like, I'm sorry that we quarreled or whatever. And I'm like,
Quarreled.
like, what are you fucking talking about?
Sorry, I beat the fuck out of you.
And then the sex that they have when he has to put on the bum, bum, bum,
Yeah,
the
he
Shining.
gets fucking obsessed with fucking during the Shining music, which is such a weird choice.
Don't know why, but I did not realize that song was, like, existed before the Shining.
Oh, did it?
Well, yeah. She plays like it's like classical music. That song is like a classical, like, song. Like, from I don't know the composer.
I thought that was made for The Shining.
I did too. Am I wrong
you sure?
on that? I don't know. There's a whole bit with the new guy when she moves where they're talking about, he, like, asks her about music and she's like, sure, I like classical, just not this one.
Huh.
So that's what I took from it. Maybe I'm totally wrong. If I'm not, I literally have never heard that song anywhere except The Shining, and I only ever think about The Shining.
Of course.
But now I'll also think about this movie, unfortunately.
I think the same is true of Tubular Bells, right? Tubular Bells was a song before The Exorcist.
Because it's messed up if that song only is made for The Shining, and that's the song he puts on to have sex to her.
But that's why he's into it.
That's so weird. That's such a weird song to put on.
Fucking... You're talking about a man who, like, tries to kill his wife and kid. Like, he has full control over her, stuck in this cabin like she's a prisoner.
But that's, like, the most unromantic, and I don't even feel like it's that, like...
You think this guy gives a shit?
It's just crazy. It's just
He's
crazy.
crazy.
It is crazy. But, yeah, her, like, whole thing where she's like, been swimming,
I
like
mean, isn't
planning.
that's what the movie's trying to illustrate? Is that she's like Wendy Torrance.
She's trapped.
Trapped in the Overlook.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I can't imagine
I mean, it's a good comparison.
That has to be why the director chose this song.
Somebody should tell us what they think, too.
I mean, this is a book.
Oh.
Right? So maybe that's the song she plays in the book, but it's like, it can't not be connected to The Shining. It's more famous for being in The Shining than anything, if you're correct.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to look it up after this, but
yeah.
Yeah, but what she goes through, like when she's like training, like learning how to swim, because he's like, "Oh, my wife can't swim."
Yeah.
She's terrified of water.
Yeah.
And they go out on this boat when there's like a storm coming.
She's a moron for fucking putting her ring in the toilet.
That's
is so
what
dumb.
gets her caught.
That is so
well, okay,
dumb.
Actually, that's not what gets her caught, technically.
No.
What gets her caught is the friend
call.
that calls and is like, "Oh, I know her from the YMCA."
Why would she give any of her personal information out? She should have used a fake name.
Yes.
No phone number. No fucking address.
Yeah.
There's no way she would be telling those people who she really is for this very reason. I feel like her mistakes
the thing is they
are
live,
convenient for the writing.
They live in the town, though, so I feel like she would have to, like, let them know who she was. It's like
I think that this could have been written smarter on how he finds it out, because I find this to be kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
If the person had a better excuse of, like, you know, I followed her home one time and then I saw her picture in the paper and was like, that's not Judy, right? Like, that's whoever. And then I wanted to come over here and return some of your stuff because, you know, I whatever reason. But for her to give her name out for her real name when she's planning on doing this, when this whole thing she's doing is a secret, living under some kind of fucking, you know, prison guard kind of warden kind of thing. Like, no fucking way she's not planning this better, right?
Yeah.
This movie, I honestly have to say, I feel like this movie, and I'm sure there's others like it, but this is a popular one. I have to imagine this was somewhat of an inspiration for Lee Winnell's The Invisible Man.
I could definitely see that. There's a lot in this that is actually feels very similar, of course. You know, anytime, obviously abusive partners and stuff, right? Like, in this instance, there's a lot of similarities that can be found. But
you have her escaping in the night.
Yes.
To get away from her abusive husband, who's like a control freak, you know, obsessive lunatic.
Yeah.
Then she gets away from him, and he fakes his own death to try to throw her off of him coming for her, and then is making her crazy by hanging out in the house unbeknownst to her and making her look like the lunatic.
Yeah.
I love that fucking movie.
Yeah,
that movie's so much better than this one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this one, like, I definitely, this wasn't my favorite. This probably might be my least favorite as well.
Yeah.
It has so much like romantic, not comedy, but it's like a romantic drama, I guess. I don't know. It's fine. It just feels like she ultimately in the end like kills him, you know, stands up for herself and everything. Her relationship with the drama teacher like is pretty cute. They have the whole montage of her trying on outfits and stuff.
I feel like it's in Julia Roberts' contract to do the like I'm so cute montage from Pretty Woman. She's super adorable.
She's a really beautiful woman, and definitely in this, she's like, you know, kind of at her.
She has some crazy hair.
I love her hair so much.
Yeah,
that's the kind of like curly hair.
Goals.
Yeah, I mean, even if my hair is long, like I have such straight hair, it does not curl like that. It never will. But that is always when I see hair like that, I'm like. But
she's like the appealing Glenn Close.
Yeah. With the hair.
With the hair, yeah. With everything.
Sure. Yeah, but then, like, he, like, tracks her down. He finds her mom. Everything with her mom is really sad because her mom's blind and, like, you know, a little bit, like, you know, just kind of, like, aging and not as sharp as she used to be. And, like, she literally shows up there, like, in a disguise so that she doesn't want anyone to recognize her, but he's there. And all that was pretty stressful. But, like, him almost killing her mom was crazy to me.
Oh, my God, dude. He's
For
gonna
sure.
snuff her out.
And mostly for me, the ending of this is really, like, the highlight, I feel. Because, like, once he finds them, and we were just, like, laughing because he's just, like, watching them, like, go to the fair together and, like, be happy, like, how happy she was.
He's like, this isn't fair.
And he was like, this is not fair, guys. He was so jealous, and it was, like, so funny to think, like, how jealous and butthurt he was feeling. It's like, if somebody has to fake their death to get away from you, bro.
He doesn't care.
Bro, she don't love you.
You belong to me.
Yeah.
I mean, he says something like that
Yeah.
in here, like, if I can't have you, no one can, kind of sentiment.
Yeah.
Paraphrasing, I forget exactly what it says, but, you know, that kind of sentiment. The craziest part of the entire film, for me by far, is that she rents like a 3-bedroom house for $700 a month.
You're right. We were freaking out about this because her house is, like, beautiful.
So nice. $700 a month. And she's like, are you going to be able to afford that? And she's like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know where she gets the money.
She gets a job as a librarian at the college. He gets her hired there.
Well, yeah, after.
Oh, she has money saved. I don't know where she's gotten it from. But she put aside money, so she's...
So once again, no background check.
Yeah.
Much like the other movie.
Yes.
No, it's just like $700 a month. $700 a month.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't know what that would be for inflation, though.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God, could you imagine if we only paid $700 a month for that house?
Oh my God.
She's like, utilities included.
Bro, what? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That would be really crazy.
Yeah, I love how when she's in her disguise with her little mustache and her hat on, she's still got her, like, manicured long nails on.
Yeah, I was laughing about that, too.
Like, you might want to take those off.
She's a cutie. Yeah.
And then they were together for 4.5 years,
yes.
which we didn't mention. And back when he, like, hit her, he was like, he's like, I don't want you to cry and ruin the night.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm like,
he was like, you're gonna cry and be spoiled dinner and, like, be upset. It's gonna be bad. It's
like, don't ruin the night over
like,
this.
You hit her. What are you talking about?
Yeah, she's ruining the night.
And she was like, no, I won't.
Her reaction, I don't really even honestly know how to take this. Maybe she's, like, losing her mind. But, like, she's starting to think. She's starting to feel like something's wrong. Somebody's in the house, whatever. And so she's going around and checking the cabinets.
Yeah.
And everything's, like, not organized. And she's like, okay, I guess all is well. And then the record player comes on. It plays The Shining music. And she, like, stops in her tracks and then laughs and keeps walking like nothing is happening.
The most, like, that, if you didn't have, like, a Pavlovian response to hearing that song,
it's fucking crazy.
You would literally be like sleeper agent.
Yeah,
like,
she would run out of the house.
You would be like, no, I can't.
She just laughs it off.
Because he plays that song every time they have sex, and they've been together for 4 years, and she's been being raped.
Why would the record player come on?
100%.
She thinks it's him? She thinks the boyfriend? She has to
think, no, I think what you said, like, where she's like,
ah,
she has to think it's like, yeah, like it's in her head or something. Because she goes and checks the cabinets to check the, like, the cans and stuff. Because she keeps seeing that the dish towels, like, keep, like, leveling out or whatever. And I'm like,
he's going around the house and organizing cans.
And then, he organizes the cans because why?
I know he does, but that is so fucking stupid.
That is stupid. He's supposed to be, and he does it, like, he literally would have done it so fast.
He would have literally walked up and shot the guy and grabbed her by the back of the head.
Like, you walk into somebody's house and you go into their cupboard and then you, like, in 2 minutes organize it.
Well, this is and not make any noise. this is the joke Nathan and I would always talk about on Xbox when we got into that whole thing I talked to you about like we were kind of dicks for a while, and that like we'd get people sort of mad, but no one near as mad because everybody does that, and so we flipped it and we started being really nice or doing like super feeble threats that we thought were really, really funny, which we actually stole from one guy who used to play with us. And the first thing he ever said to us was like, "You guys better quit it, or I'm gonna come over to your house and rearrange your furniture." And that was like the funniest fucking threat I'd ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that's like this guy. He's like, "I'm gonna come and rearrange your cans."
That's Bunny from Xbox. He's just fucking like, "I'm gonna come over to your house and organize your cupboard."
So weird.
My brother's was always, "I'm gonna come over to your house, do your homework for you, and get you a B-."
That's a good one.
It's just like, what? Because people would just be like, what?
It would throw them for a loop.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
the feeble threats on Xbox Live back in the day playing Gears of War in those lobbies was fucking hilarious. The shit Nathan and I would come up with as feeble threats. And this would have fit. This would have fit. Like, you guys better shut the fuck up. We're going to come over to your house and organize your pantry for you and play the Shining music.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a trained response to that song, but I do kind of, because if I just heard that song playing and nobody was in the house, I would be like...
Tomorrow when I'm gone, I'm going to set a timer.
If I just heard that song,
to play randomly in the house.
A timer on what? I would be so scared.
What would you do? What would you do if you were in the bedroom and you just heard the Shining music? I mean, you would think I was home.
I would think you were home, and then when you weren't home, I would leave the house.
When you call me and I FaceTime you at the salon.
And I call the police.
And jump out the balcony with Grogu and Bean under each arm.
And I'd be like, "Let's go, babies."
You'd call me from the bottom of the patio, broken legs. I can't get away.
Yeah, her reaction is silly, and then obviously he's there.
She's very lucky that he only put 4 bullets in his gun.
Very much, because he pulls the trigger. He's like, "You're coming with me," and then
that's where he says the like, "If no one can have you," he
says something like that.
Yeah. For some reason, so there's 4 shots that go off that I remember counting.
Yes.
And I think a gun like that at least holds 5 or 6, because it's a smaller handgun.
Lucky
it's
for
one
her.
of those little ones. So maybe it's only a 4-shot gun, but but he's dead.
He is dead.
So she's stoked. For her, it's better that she found him.
Yeah.
Now she gets to
know for sure, like, he's never coming after me again.
Her mom lives. Her boyfriend lives. This all actually ends up pretty good for her.
It does. Well, okay,
nobody dies.
The only thing is that she, like, faked her death, moved away, killed a guy.
And now she gets to write an award-winning, best-selling book.
Yeah.
About her time sleeping with the enemy.
Yeah.
And who the fuck wouldn't read that book? If this was real...
Oh, yeah. You'd be like, wow.
They'd be like, "You rented a house for $700 a month? Where?
Where did that happen?" Yeah.
He just organized cans?
It doesn't sound that bad.
Doesn't sound bad. Have him come over to my house.
Bro.
Don't ruin the night.
Seriously. Don't ruin the night. What's that? That's stupid.
Although, I did say this, though. I think the fact that she's dating a drama teacher is what ends up saving her life.
Oh, yes. You made this point. I think that's a good point.
She comes to the door as the guy's on the other side of it being like, holding her at gunpoint and being like, "Get rid of him."
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to me, because this is the kind of dipshit. Although, I don't know, guys like this are total pussies. The reason that they beat up their wives is because they feel emasculated by other men and want to, like, get it back by being tough to their women. So a lot of men who beat up women are actually, like, really, really wimpy dudes. So this actually doesn't surprise me that much, but I would think that because he is going to kill that guy in the car who doesn't even, because he thinks it's him. And it's like some random other guy.
Yeah.
Who's another drama teacher. And anyway, she's at the door and is like, "No, I'm okay. Like, you know, the night's over. We can do it again
like,
sometime.
I'm not feeling good right now.
There's no mention of it in the film.
Yeah.
But I have to believe, because then he busts through the door, and fuck if he was wrong.
Oh, God.
She would be like, we're done.
Yeah.
I'm calling the police. So he really had to believe
I think
that
you're
he
right.
was right. But
I agree.
he's like, I can tell acting. I can
Yes.
tell. I thought there was going to be a line where
Yeah.
she was going to be like, how did you know? And he's like, I'm an acting coach.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell you were acting.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're not very good at acting or whatever the fuck.
I agree, though.
So
I think that's totally the case.
He could tell she was acting and busted in to save her. So I think the fact that she's with a drama coach is what saved her.
Yeah.
Even though ultimately I do like the line though when she's on the phone with the police.
Oh yeah, that's a badass
and
line.
she's like, "Hey,
send someone away.
I killed an intruder.
I've just shot an intruder."
Yeah, I was like,
so dope.
Hell yeah,
hell yeah. And then he's like, and she's like, it's good.
I think she said I killed an intruder. Like
I've just killed an intruder.
Yeah, I think it's something specifically like he's dead.
Yeah.
Not like I shot him, but he's dead.
Yeah,
he's
I think
gone.
you're probably right, actually.
I think that's what it is. I was like, ooh, like now you have to be dead.
Yeah, it's good.
For her.
It was
for
good.
Her, yeah.
It was really good.
That's the best line or moment in the movie because you're like, don't let this guy live.
No.
Don't let him get the upper hand on
No,
you.
yeah.
Fuck this
She
guy.
definitely doesn't. She fights.
She
the whole
does
time.
let him get the gun though.
Yeah.
And he pulls the trigger, and she would have died if there would have been another bullet in that gun. So
Yeah,
she
she would've.
does let him get close enough.
Yeah.
But she does shoot his ass, and he does die. So
Yes.
thank God.
Thank God.
Someone like this, if anybody thinks this guy doesn't deserve to die, you really need to seek help. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Seek help.
They're probably like, oh, he's not that bad. Like, she is his property.
Bro, no.
Yeah, that's crazy. There are guys like this, though.
Yeah.
That couple I showed you online.
Yeah.
That does those stupid
I don't even want to talk
right-wing
about that.
videos where he's like telling her to
He'll be like,
he's
quiet.
He's like, quiet.
Like,
I want to beat the fuck out of that kid. Oh my God. If I could beat up anyone on earth right now, he'd be in my top 5 for sure. That guy is a total little pussy. If you want to know who he is, I'll find the link and I'll let you guys see him. You will grit your teeth so hard and just want to smash this guy into oblivion. But that's their whole gimmick.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's the rage bait.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all just to get people on there and little dipshits who think that's cool or people who are offended. And either way, or they're getting views and the algorithm pushes them. But that's the kind of guy that turns into the dude from this movie.
yes, yeah.
Right? Or not turns into, might just fucking straight up be that guy.
Yeah.
You do not own your wife, okay? I'm leasing her. Okay? I couldn't afford her.
Aw.
No, it's fucking crazy. Kaylee is her own person.
Yeah.
She has full autonomy over her life, right?
Don't ruin the night.
Don't ruin the night. And I have nothing over her. If anybody has any ownership over anybody here, it's her over me.
No.
Or no, I'm just kidding.
No.
It's crazy. If Kaylee wants to leave me, she has every right to do so, and I will never force her to stay. Like, I'm just the kind of person that's like, if you don't want to be with me, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, I have
it's not
no
fun.
interest in being with someone who doesn't
If they
want
don't
to
want to
be
be
with me.
with you, like, that's lame.
Look, I'd be bummed for sure, but I ain't stopping you.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, there's the door. Like, I'm
There's
not
the
fucking, I'm not begging.
Put on The Shining. Or Nice to Can.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, this is a long one because we came back and talked more.
Yeah.
It was already
yeah.
quite long. So I hope you guys enjoyed it.
We've
recorded a lot today.
I hope you've had an obsession. Oh, man.
So,
and
yesterday, too.
We've
the
done
last 2 days,
5 hours of
we've talked
recording
a lot.
today.
And yesterday, we talked a lot.
Oh, we did a 3-hour live stream yesterday.
It was not 3 hours. It was like 2.5.
It was like 2:45.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, that's crazy.
Don't ruin the night.
Anyway,
someone's
going to
be like, domestic abuse is never funny. Then why is everyone laughing? Including us.
Yes. Check out our Slasher Sunday.
Yes. That one's going to be fun.
Really
It's
fun.
available for members right now.
And
As are all videos
other-
the second that they go up.
yeah.
So, become a member.
Yeah, become a member, become a Patreon.
A member, you get more.
Yeah.
Patrons don't really get shit
Patrons can get one-on-one hangouts with us.
for money.
As a patron.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right, guys. Stay away from 14-year-old girls.
Yes.
Stay away from abusive
Stay
husbands.
away from married men.
Stay away from baseball fanatics.
Stay away from,
Stay away
from landladies.
landladies.
And
Just stay away from everybody.
Just
don't go out.
Yeah.
Order stuff
Online.
online. Never leave the house.
Yeah. Good plan.
All right.
Bye.